Hello, good afternoon. Happy Vlogmas number 5 for me. Keeping with the theme that I've been going with, we're doing horror films all month. It's also actually not the morning, it's like 2:30. I just had a ton of work to do today, so I went ham on that this morning, and so I figured when I got a little break in the afternoon, we could open the advent calendars. If you haven't been following along, I'm opening a Funko Pop advent calendar where all the pops are horror icons, and then I'm watching the movie corresponding to the characters. So in the last vlog, we opened up Beetlejuice, which you can see right over here. This is actually a list of all the films I've watched so far. We've got the 3 Shining Pops, we've got Pennywise the Clown, and then we've got Beetlejuice, which I'll be watching later in the vlog, and I'll give you my review. That's actually a movie I have seen, but I don't remember like anything about it because I saw it as a kid and it scared me. So it'll be like watching it fresh. But let's get to the advent calendar and see what I will be watching the next vlog. Door number 5. Ooh, I have no idea what this is, but it's cool and I'm excited. Oh, it doesn't say. I might need help. Who is this? No clue. He's cute though. I love him. He's a vampire. A vampire movie. Ooh. I love vampires. And if somebody offered to make me a vampire, I would not hesitate. I would say yes. 1000%. Actually, let me know in the comments. I'd love to know people's opinions on this. Vampires versus werewolves versus zombies. I don't know if zombies would be included in that. Because this isn't a question of like, what's your favorite type of movie? Like vampires, werewolves, zombies. Because mine would actually probably be zombies. But in terms of what I would want to be versus vampires and werewolves, I would definitely pick vampire. I don't think anybody would pick zombie as what they would want to be. So yeah, let me know in the comments, vampire versus werewolf. Vampire I like because they're immortal, they're forever young and beautiful. Werewolves aren't always in control of their power, which could be problematic. They can't use it freely most of the time. It's just like on the full moon. And I feel like it's more of a hindrance than it is a power, you know? And werewolves are always like accidentally killing people. And I guess vampires are killing people too, but when you're a vampire, you want to kill people. Like you have that desire. Not that I would be a vampire who killed people. I feel like I would try to be the vegetarian vampire, you know, feeding on animal blood or feeding not to kill. I don't know. I'm going deep into this, but I think about this all the time. Any vampires watching, hit me up. I'm down. I'll turn into one of you. If I disappear from the public eye, that's what you can assume happened. I turned into a vampire. And since I'm going to be young forever, I can't be on the internet because then people would find out. I'd go live in the woods somewhere, not like in the woods, in like a cabin in the woods. Anyway, again, I digress. Let's open up the crystal advent calendar. For the crystals, we're doing daily. So we've had some doubles in some of the videos. What day are we on? 8? 9. We're on day 9. Okay. Ooh, she dark. She dark and moody. I love it. Very dark, very black, moody. I'm a fan. Let's refer. Ooh, I love the name of it already. Black Obsidian. Psychic protection, cleansing, clearing, magic, safety, power, maintaining. I gotta say, I feel like this was the perfect crystal to pull on a day where I was talking about vampires. All right, let me go cleanse this. Since it's later in the day, I'm pretty much done with work. I am doing an interview later with a podcast called Would You Die? And their format's actually different than most of the podcast interviews I've done thus far. If you go into the comments, I have a list of some interviews that I've done, but most of those have just been very focused on Terrifier 2 and questions about that, which is obviously very exciting. But this podcast's format is I got to pick a villain in a horror film, my favorite villain in a horror film, and then we're gonna talk about that film. I feel like I cheated slightly because I didn't necessarily pick my favorite villain, and I'm not even terribly convinced that this person is a villain, but we're gonna be talking about Jennifer's Body. I love Jennifer's Body. Made even better by the fact that it was directed and written by a woman, but that's the plan for today on this lovely Friday or Saturday, whatever day you're watching this.
I am so confused by Beetlejuice. So I started it last night, but then I got really tired and I was just so shocked by the plot because I thought it was something completely different, which I'll explain. But I was like, I'm falling asleep. I'm not paying attention to the end. I was so engrossed in it, but I was just so tired. And I was also just like, I need to decompress and finish this in the morning. Let me explain. As a child, I saw Beetlejuice once and it terrified me and I never watched it again. But I always grew up believing that I sort of made it worse in my head, like it wasn't that scary and that Beetlejuice was actually a good guy, not a bad guy. In my head, I always thought that Beetlejuice was a character from the afterlife that would greet dead people and help them process their death and then shepherd them to the other side. I thought it was like a wholesome story about like accepting your death, and Beetlejuice is the one that helps you get there. Why did I think that that's what this movie was about? Why have I always believed that? And in my head I was like, oh, Beetlejuice wasn't scary. I just need to like one day watch it and I'll conquer my fears. No. I was right the first time. Beetlejuice is terrifying. Oh my goodness. But for as much as I like hated Beetlejuice, I like hated him. I hated him so much unexpectedly because of what I believed the movie was about. I love Barbara, Adam, I think his name is Adam and Lydia so much. They are so wholesome. And I feel like by not watching this as a kid, I missed an opportunity as like a young teen or a preteen to be obsessed with Lydia and Winona Ryder. I was always obsessed with Winona Ryder, but I sort of discovered her in the Edward Scissorhands phase of her career, and Girl Interrupted were like my two favorite films with her. She's probably my favorite actress, honestly. If you ask me, that's usually what I say. So I'm very surprised that I totally forgot she was in this. This is a much more detailed review than any other review of a movie that I've done. I hope you're enjoying it. But yeah, Winona Ryder, incredible. Gina Davis, incredible. I said in the last video that people say that I look like her. I feel like it's a little harder to see the way that I'm like looking now with my hair. But like I see what people are saying because her natural hair, like her hair in the movie, is exactly what my natural hair looks like. And even in like a kind of similar haircut. But yeah, me and Gina Davis have like pretty much the exact same texture and hair color. But yeah, I have to say overall, I did like it. There are a lot of jokes in it that I felt if it was in a movie that came out today, it would sort of be frowned upon. Like, I just don't think that the writing aged terribly well in a lot of points. But I was rooting for the main characters so much that I do think it's something I would watch again. I didn't love every aspect of it, but I liked the main characters enough that I feel like, yeah, I'd watch it again. But oh my God, I hated Beetlejuice. And I'm still just in shock of like what I thought the plot line was and what it actually ended up being. And if there is a movie with that plot line out there, let me know, because that sounds like a better movie. Not like a better movie, but it sounds more wholesome. I really thought that this was going to be a wholesome, scary film, but nope, it wasn't. Beetlejuice is terrifying. He is the villain. I don't even know if I want to keep the pop. I want like a Lydia pop, not a Beetlejuice pop. I don't want him in my house. But okay, that is enough about Beetlejuice. I have a fun idea for later. I just have a little bit of work to do today, but a little bit later today and for the end of the vlog, I kind of want to go through some Twitter responses I got about horror films that I should have watched this month. I was on a podcast yesterday talking about like horror film villains or a horror film villain that I like, and we talked about Jennifer's Body, which is like one of my favorite horror films, and it got me thinking. A few weeks ago, I posted a tweet asking people for recommendations for horror films to watch this month. In the end, I ended up just like going based on the advent calendar, so I appreciate the responses, but I felt like that was easier because I just got like way too many. But I thought it would be fun to go through the list and just sort of tally off all the ones I have seen and then like talk more in depth about ones that I've seen that I really like. Because there were so many on the list where I was like, oh yeah, I love that film. And I kind of like forgot about it. So I thought that'd be fun. So let me work and then I will come back for the end of this vlog. For me, it'll be a few hours. For you, it'll be right now. All right, we are back to go through some horror films, see what I've seen. I just washed my hair. Can you tell? I think it looks pretty good actually. My hair is destroyed though from all this dyeing. So when I get a good hair moment, I'm excited about it. Well, now it looks crazy. Okay, that's the best I can do. All right, I can't promise I'm gonna go through all these because I literally got like 700 responses on this tweet and people posted like multiple movies. But we are only gonna talk about the ones that I've seen and then maybe a few that I'm like, ooh, I wanna see that one. The first thing someone says when I was like, don't say Terrifier, Terrifier, it was my friend. He was joking. Yeah, I've seen Terrifier. I think I saw it after I was cast, I want to say. And I watched it with Marissa, my partner in late
Bloomer Pictures, but it was more like I was watching it and narrating it to her because she does not do gore. So she was like popping in and then like listening to it, cleaning her apartment, but I was mostly watching it. Totally respect her not being able to handle the gore. Blair Witch Project, seen it. Get Out, love it. My favorite of Jordan Peele's movies. The Ring, I love The Ring. The Ring has some good jump scares in it. Like that's what I would say is a standout moment for me in The Ring is a couple good jump scares. Fear Street. That was like a 3-part series on Netflix a few years ago. Loved it. That was good. Us again, Jordan Peele. I liked it. Not as good as Get Out. I think that the third act confused me. So maybe it was just me. A lot of people have been telling me to watch An American Werewolf in London, but I have not seen that. Oh, also the movie that inspired me to do all this, Jennifer's Body. Number one, that movie has an incredible soundtrack. I feel like that was what got me interested in it, was all the music on the soundtrack. But the movie's incredible. It's directed by a woman, written by a woman. I think that's really cool. I think it doesn't take itself too seriously. That's why I love it. But I talked way more about that on the podcast I did, so I will link it when it comes out, which I don't think it's out yet. The Babadook. I watched that with someone who doesn't like horror films, and I feel like I didn't get the full appreciation of it that I needed to. Misery, incredible. Misery, Carrie. I like a lot of Stephen King stuff. The Mist. Fun stuff. Though I prefer his books over any adaptation I've ever seen. Haunting of Hill House, love. Haunting of Bly Manor, not as scary as I wanted. Love anyway. Poltergeist, the first movie that scared the bejesus out of me. Pearl I haven't seen yet, but I've seen X. I'm very excited to watch Pearl. Very excited. Definitely before the year ends, I'll see that. Paranormal Activity, I actually felt a lot of fear going into that movie. I remember like being really nervous to see Paranormal Activity. But anything found footage, huge fan of. I don't know if Creep is on here, but Creep is one of my all-time favorite films. Marissa actually told me to watch that one, and it's probably top 5 for me. I think it's just so simplistic and really just interesting and cool. A lot of people were giving me like scary Christmas movies, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Hellraiser, that's my franchise. As far as like these franchises that have like a ton of movies, I love Hellraiser. I love Kirsty. I don't love all of them, but I love, you know, the good ones. Exorcism of Emily Rose. I know I've seen that one. Jeepers Creepers. I've definitely seen that. I've seen one of the VHS movies. And I don't love all of them, but I remember in the first VHS, there was one about a guy who was wearing a pair of glasses that had a video camera in it. So it was like a found footage thing. And they bring home a girl who ends up being like a demon and like murdering them. And that one was so cool. There are so many that I haven't seen though. Like I'm just going through lists where people are listing like 10 and I haven't seen like a single one. But again, a lot of Christmas movies. Barbarian I saw this year, so good. I like the comedy aspect of it. Train to Busan is on the list. That's one I really want to see. Midsummer was so good. It was so unsettling because it was so bright. I liked it better than Hereditary. Hereditary, I kind of was confused with it. But again, that's probably just me. House of Wax. I loved that movie for the cast. We had the CW hotties, Jared Padalecki and Chad Michael Murray, who at the time I was very obsessed with. So I loved that film for them. 13 Ghosts. I remember watching this movie with my cousin. We were just like flipping through channels and we ended up catching like a piece of it and then we had to like go. And then we spent weeks trying to figure out what that movie was and we finally found it out. We watched it at a family holiday party like in a back room and our little cousin at the time watched it with us and it was his first horror film and that holds a very special place in my heart. I love 13 Ghosts. Also probably top 5 for me. Don't talk to me about Human Centipede. I can't with that film. It Follows, I didn't like. I had a really good idea for a sequel where a woman is left over with it and she uses it to like kill bad people. So she would like use the power, like she would sleep with somebody, make the thing follow them. And then like once they killed them, she would like sleep with another person, which obviously is like the point of it, but she would specifically go after bad people. So she'd sort of be like an assassin. She'd use it as like a superpower. Orphan I really liked too. I still have to see Orphan first kill. Orphan left me feeling uncomfortable afterwards, but in like a good way, you know, in the way that you want to feel after a horror film. The Mean One I'm planning on seeing this month for sure. Oh, I also really love some of Tim Burton's stuff. I know I was like shitting on Beetlejuice earlier. I want to make it very clear. I did really like the movie because I loved the main character so much. Beetlejuice, I just didn't like him specifically. But I do like other Tim Burton stuff like Coraline and The Corpse Bride specifically. Those two films are great. Silence of the Lambs, another good one. Amityville Horror, that's another one I really like. Also, Let the Right One In. I've only seen Let the Right One In. I didn't see Let Me In, but I heard that Let the Right One In was the better version, which it usually would be because it's the original one, and Let Me In was the American adaptation, you know? But I really think, oh my God, there's a Creep 2. I didn't know there was a Creep 2. I have to watch that. Oh my gosh. But from this list, I feel like I have to say, let's give like my top 5 would be definitely Hellraiser, Jennifer's Body, Creep, 13 Ghosts. I don't know for number 5. Maybe It Chapter 1. I really liked that one. So yeah, that was a really awesome list. I of course love anything Stephen King, but prefer the books over the adaptations. I did like the new Carrie. I know that people are like, oh, the old one was better. Like, maybe, probably, yeah. But still, I still liked it. Thought it was a good cast. But it's just been so fun immersing myself in scary stuff this month. I'm gonna end the vlog today on a new crystal because it is a new day. So my next vlog will probably start like halfway through today. So we'll end today. With a crystal for door number 10. I love the one I got yesterday. Ooh, a very sparkly mineral looking one. This is probably one I can't wash. It's really dark in here. I know it looks bright on camera, but it's super dark, but phosphosiderite is what I'm gonna guess that this is. That sounds right. Phosphosiderite has an adorable, soothing, calming vibration and helps one feel more confident about their work. Phosphidorite. It's like a purpley color. I love that. Oh, it matches my nails. Cute. Well, thanks for coming along for another vlog. I loved talking about horror films. Beetlejuice definitely elicited the biggest reaction from me out of all the films I've seen thus far. I'm curious your thoughts on it. I think some things didn't age well, but overall, really likable main characters who I was rooting for and fun, scary time. So next vlog, I have some potentially exciting stuff to reveal about P.O. boxes, maybe some cameo. So definitely check in for the next video coming out tomorrow. And I'm thinking of doing some tarot stuff. So if you like tarot, come around for that. Not me doing tarot because I don't know how to, but I've gotten some tarot readings in the past and I thought maybe I could talk about them. So yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.
Let it go. 얼어붙어 like whoa. 띵하고 어지러워. I see. 한여름에도 넌 겨울. Yeah, go.